Final score at Lucas Oil Stadium today, 28 for the Indianapolis Colts, 11 for the Minnesota Vikings. Voice of the Vikings, Paul Allen, Ben Leber here to join me. And similar to last week, PA, after the first drive, the Vikings offense couldn't get going.
Yeah, I mean, Ben played in the NFL and we didn't, and Ben has analyzed football for the Vikings radio network for several years, man. I just don't know what I'm seeing. I mean, we just are not, even with teams that don't make the playoffs, we're just not accustomed to seeing some of the things that we're seeing now.
Well, the unfortunate part to me is that there's just no adjustment with the offense once they get past the first 15. And the first 15 is designed to give your offense confidence. Those are the plays that you go into during the course of the week, and you prep and you get ready and you review the night before the game. The reason why it usually works is because you can play fast because you're confident. Outside of that, there's not a lot of confidence on this offense right now. That's the thing that I think is frustrating. And hopefully after this game, we can get a lot more Dalvin Cook and start with him first, then to have the offense sort of evolve after that.
During the third quarter, you said, get the ball in Dalvin Cook's hands. Speaking of the defense, the entire week we were talking about run defense versus run offense. Anthony Barr goes down early in the first half, and then Jonathan Taylor rushes for 100 yards. What's your take on how this defense performed today?
Well, the defense overall didn't perform well. Defensive line, it all starts there. They got pushed around a little bit. They got cut off on the front side at times. They lost their gap integrity on the back side at times as well. And by and large, you guys talked about it as far as the running game for the Colts just picking up chunk yards just by creating a new line of scrimmage. And that's frustrating for any defensive coordinator, any defense, that the running backs are getting 3 or 4 yards down the field before anybody makes first initial contact. And then, PA, you talked about it during the game. They're always falling forward as well.
Well, and I mean, I've called Vikings football for 19 years, 300 some odd games. Ben played and has seen more than all of us. I honestly, back to week 17 against the Bears, Mike Boone got trapped for a safety, and then week 1, Jair Alexander gets Cousins, and it's another safety today. I mean, 3 safeties in 3 consecutive regular season games. That might never happen again in the history of the NFL.
First time since 1970 since that's happened. First time since 2011 in the same season that there's been back-to-back safeties from a team. But those safeties, how big is that for momentum?
Oh, it's massive. Oh, absolutely. Isn't it massive? I mean, it's kind of been like, when a quarterback who generally doesn't run that much, and here you are, you're super excited, we're getting back in the game, it's 3rd and 8, and then like somebody runs for a first down, it's just deflating. Those safeties are deflating.
Well, and that kind of goes back to what I was talking about with Dalvin. That's usually an area of the field where you rely on your running back in the running game to kind of get you some breathing space. Then if you have to pass, which you usually do, check it down. Go for the easy throw. Don't go for the big completion down the field and the big shot. Last week it was a play-action pass with longer routes. Today, patting the ball a little bit, longer routes. It's okay in that situation to check the ball down, pick up 4 or 5 yards, and just get a first down and some breathing room.
Between the lines presented by Gatorade, we'll end it with this. Some positivity. Unique Ngakwe's biggest play as a Viking, his 7th career sack against Phillip Rivers. Yeah. How can you build on that next week?
Well, Ngakwe got going a little bit, and he did have that sack. And, it's just he's new. He hasn't even been here a month. You do not to fire up common man's excuse computer, but it is legitimate when you lose Linval Joseph via free agency, and you do that by choice, and then you make a move on Michael Pierce. He opts out due to COVID and asthmatic conditions. Okay, now that's absolutely 100% fine. But now all of a sudden you got a void in the middle that you got to get around. So when you say some positives into the next game, you come home, you run Dalvin, who doesn't want to get shown up in this building, whether they're fans or not, by Derrick Henry. So Dalvin, along with everybody just settling down, and even if you lose, look the part in defeat or with victory.
Well, going back to Ngakwe, the difference for me was just the number of snaps. He started the game at the right defensive end spot, even though he was in a 2-point stance. but he got into the rhythm of the game, the feel of the game, and you see a lot of these great pass rushers, they have to feel the offensive linemen sometimes. They have to feel the energy of the game, and it is a little bit of a chess match with these guys. And so I believe that sack came because he was setting things up. He was showing things. He was giving the left tackle a lot to look at, and then boom, when the moment's right, you hit him with some speed to go around the corner, and he's got that tremendous bend and that ability to get to the football.
Well, the Vikings are looking back to get back on track against the 2-0 Titans team. That's the first time that they have been 2-0 since 2008. It's going to be a big game. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Ben. This is Between the Lines presented by Gatorade.